We are live.
Hey guys, we're live. Welcome back. GhettoRig episode 86. Sorry guys, we had a little delay because we're testing a couple of things, technical difficulties, but
It's more like getting more new stuff, upgrading.
yes, upgrading. The computer's upgraded. We got some microphones going. We have a little surprise for you. We got different microphones, little portable ones. I don't know. Let me show you.
Fancy stuff.
We got these little things. These little thingy things. I don't know if you see them, guys. Here we go.
Yep.
These are clip-on mics, and this is, you can just handheld, but you can add this inside instead of it being clip-on. So you already know what time it is and what we're gonna be doing. No worries, guys. We got Eddie in the house. He hasn't vacated the position. He's here.
I ain't going nowhere, bitches.
Yeah. I'm not fucking leaving. So stay tuned because we're gonna have a bunch of new things coming up in the works.
I see you guys are both wearing black shirts. You know, I've become a big fan of black shirts myself. And
Bro,
I
I
got
bought
a big
this
pack of like the 10 black Gildans.
Yeah,
Best thing ever, dude. I don't have to think about what I wear anymore. I just grab a shirt and go. That's
Yeah.
it.
I bought this one for probably like $7-8 at H&M, and it's the best fucking clothing investment I've ever made.
Yeah.
I literally was actually thinking about it as I was getting dressed today because I'm like organizing clothes in my brain for the cruise and stuff. It's a few weeks away, and so I was like, what else should I maybe get? And I was like, I want another like probably 2 of those black shirts from H&M.
I
Like,
have those go-to shirts as well. You know those ones like, damn, those are just comfy wear, dude. They feel
yeah,
good to wear.
you know what I hate those when you have those kinds of shirts and then you wear them a bunch of times and eventually just like they're faded.
They're faded.
They're
Oh,
faded, or they like because you've washed it already 40
Yeah.
times, it doesn't even fit the same, and yeah, that shit sucks.
All right,
but
listen, Fabletics, you better start supporting us because I'm
No
gonna drop
way.
some shit on your asses if you don't support us, right? But all I can tell you is, yes, I do agree with black shirts. I have a friend of mine. We call her Sky Daddy. And the reason we call her that is because one day we were talking and she was like, yeah, as long as Sky Daddy allows, this will happen, right? So we call her Sky Daddy from that point on. She suggested, because I was like, I was out, it was summer, and I was sweating. I was like, Mom, man, I hate it when I start sweating. And y'all know in Florida, that's impossible. In summertime, you're out, you're going to be sweating.
Yep.
She's like, you just need to get black shirts. I was like, that's it? She's like, yeah, that's it. So I first tried it then, and I was like, oh, shit, it works. But then I found, in my opinion, which are the best black shirts I've ever had, is Target Goodfella brand shirts. I really like them.
Yes.
a lot.
Yes, and yes. I got
Ev-
those as a gift last year for Christmas, dude. I
Yeah.
fucking love those.
Yes,
shirts.
yeah, I
even
got a
even
couple
like
of
the
them. They're nice.
even the logo ones,
Yeah.
like the ones that have the pictures and shit
Yeah,
on
I
them.
got a green
Even
one.
those are
that's
nice.
got a graphic on it. It's
Yeah,
like
the
a
graphics.
waves or
Yeah.
something.
Those are
It's nice.
those are nice. So I have ton of black shirts, and now here's the only thing with that. In summertime, they're great to wear because you can't see the sweat stains. But the minute it dries, if you sweat salt, you're gonna have the white spots. So you're gonna have to have a shirt to change. But in the meantime, while you're sweating, you can't.
And
really
at the
see.
same time, but also black isn't the best color to wear when it's hot as fuck because it's gonna make you hotter.
Yeah, but with white, I've tried the white. You wear the white. Number one, white is gonna go to fucking yellow real quick,
Yeah, that's
especially
my issue.
under your armpits,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
after washing. And number two, you can see the sweat stains on white.
Yeah.
So
I only get
And
a
you
white
can also
shirt.
see my nipples under them as well.
Yes, I only get a white shirt if it's thick enough to where you can't see my titties,
yeah.
and if it's something I really like that I'm probably gonna wear only when I go out, so I'm
Yeah.
not sweating in
Yeah.
it or like
I've never
doing
said this
dumb shit.
before, but I envy men with white tip like nipples.
white nipples. Why you got them pepperoni brown nipples?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
same.
got the Latino brown pepperonis.
Yeah,
Um,
them shits look like you just got bullseyes on your chest when you're wearing a white shirt.
It's a
Yeah.
Target, dude.
Yeah, that's I mean I know Miguel had to do the same thing, gym class, wearing a white tee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all know
I
what that's
didn't-
like.
I didn't skip a day, man.
so black
was your
shirts.
favorite
Yeah,
one?
black shirts are it. Black shirts are for sure it.
Yeah, I want to get a couple more just to take to the cruise. What are you thinking, Jay? You gonna join us? You have the opportunity.
Bro, I can't, man.
You can't or you don't want to.
What I heard was I don't want to.
That's all I hear, right?
No, I can't, and I can.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, he's gonna
Bullshit.
be-
I call
he's gonna be
bullshit.
it's gonna be dry season.
Man, get the
It's gonna be
fuck
dry
out of
season.
here. No, how is it
We
dry
gon-
season?
Look,
It's a cruise, bro.
bro. We're
How's that
gonna,
dry
A
season?
lot
You're
of
talking
water.
shit.
A lot of water.
we're gonna
Yeah,
eat
it's a lot of water.
a lot of
It's
alcohol.
a lot of water.
A lot of alcohol. That's what it is. We're not gonna be fucking dry.
Yeah.
No, this man wants to, fuck bitches, but
I know. I get that.
there's bitches on the cruise. Like, I get when we went to DR and it was like in the middle of the mountains. He's like, I'm gonna be dry season. I was like, okay, you horn dog, don't go.
As a
But
matter of fact,
here, you got
now-
no excuse.
Now I want you to go because I want you to find love in that cruise, and I want to see every time you walk around. Oh look,
Where's
there
the
goes
cruise
Jay
from?
with his little girl.
Where's the cruise from?
Orlando,
or Tampa?
Orlando, yeah. Come on, bro.
No, not
Rodolfo's
peer pressure.
looking for someone and stuff. Come on.
No peer
No,
pressure.
man,
please.
what you mean no peer pressure? Fuck you. I'm in the peer pressure. You, I want you to go.
Let's talk about this in private.
This isn't drugs, my guy. Like, it's just a cruise, Talk about no
Take some
peer
LSD.
pressure. Oh shit. That's
So
funny.
yeah, but yeah, other than that, so I've been going to jujitsu, back to jujitsu 3 days now. Holy fuck, I am like, my entire body is aching. I'm
Yeah.
sore. All the fucking joints are hurting. But I've been also, I can already tell like my body's starting to come back to normal. Like I'm starting to lose the extra weight, the extra water weight. It's coming off of me. But I am fucking beat. The other day, it was 2 days and it was the second day I went to sleep. I woke up and I couldn't fucking function. Like I was so tired and I didn't, like, because of jiu-jitsu, my muscles were so tired that I didn't recover enough throughout the night sleeping.
Right.
When I woke up and I didn't know what the fuck's going on. So there's that.
So, I saw this thing, one of the reasons it came into my brain was, which we'll talk about later, which is Dillon, Danis and Logan Paul and the stuff they've got going on. But I've been seeing a lot of clips, like, for example, Conor McGregor, Dana White, and a lot of other fighters and big names talk about manifesting. And, you mentioned to me, Jay, that you wanted to start, including a few key things in this podcast, which includes self-improvement. So
Yes.
the reason I bring it up is because it's a little bit of a controversial opinion, a controversial topic, right? Because a lot of people call bullshit, right?
Yeah, I call bullshit.
You call bullshit. And I partially call bullshit as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing to take on when you're going for a goal. And this is what I mean.
That's not mad.
Ready?
Okay, go
Ready?
ahead.
Ready? Okay. I'll tell you exactly what. So, we can all agree that setting values and goals to your success is something that's productive, right?
Yes.
Like having a clear goal and
Yeah.
what values you want to have. And then we can all agree that confidence as well is also a big value. We would say that is a good thing to be successful, right? Confidence in yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, from what it sounds like, I think manifesting is the extreme of that, of those two things. Extreme confidence in yourself. You have no belief you're going to lose. And basically accepting those extreme values and goals and believing you're going to make it, right? This is just, that's the kind of way I put it together. It's just an extreme version of that. Now, when we talk about manifesting, it's a little different, right? Like, mostly it's just like you put into your brain and you picture it happening. And this is the way these guys talk about it, right? And this is, they say they believe in this form of moving themselves forward. I think it's interesting because if you can adopt this mindset of manifesting, I don't think it's something that's gonna work against you. So the
okay.
idea of manifesting is a little wonky in the sense that, oh, you believe it and picture it, but I think that manifesting, in the sense, the ideology for someone to take that on can work. It's not going to work against you in any way.
So yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Right?
Okay.
And this is the weird thing though. I don't believe manifesting is real in the sense of like, oh, because you pictured it this way and all these things, right? But I do believe manifesting is real in the sense that it is something that can help propel you forward. I think that it is not necessarily an unhealthy mindset to adopt. And this is the weird thing. The only way manifesting is going to work for you and is going to be productive is if you believe it. Right?
It's almost like astrology.
No, it's not like astrology.
Make you a little sprinkle of spice.
No.
So I can see what you're saying. Okay, well, Here's the thing. Anytime I hear somebody saying manifesting is like, well, the universe is gonna give it to me. I'm just gonna be the way I am, and universe is gonna give it to me. But what it sounds to me is like
The only thing
you're
the
saying
universe is gonna
universe
give
is
you
gonna,
is
yeah,
Yeah, that's not what I took from.
yeah.
manifesting.
You're saying universe is gonna give it to me, but I'm actively going to work towards this goal, and universe is gonna give me the goal that I'm actively
Reward me with my work, right?
actively working towards.
Right.
So now, is that really manifesting? Not really, because you're actively working towards this goal, and eventually,
No, that's still manifesting.
but eventually
You
you're
trying
gonna
to tell me that when Dana White and McGregor and all these guys talk about manifesting, they're misquoting themselves? No, they have that ideology of manifesting, and they're still working towards it.
So the thing is with manifesting, it became popular with the white girls. Like they'll sit there and I'm manifesting.
I
But
think
these
it became
bitches-
popular, like everyone started looking at it, but it was something that people used for a long time, I feel.
Well, yeah, but these bitches sit down and they're like, well, the universe is gonna give it to me, but then yet I'm not going to do anything productive and or improve myself in any way, but the universe is gonna give it to me.
Yeah, that's not what
And
I
I
took
don't
from
think
it.
that these guys, what you're talking about, they're talking about that. They're saying, okay, well, I know what my goal is. This is my goal, right? Now, how do I get there? Okay, so I can picture myself when I'm there, but how do I get there? Okay, I need to do X, Y, Z, and I
So
gotta do it
manifesting
on a repeat
is
over.
based on the idea that you can think your dreams into reality, which of course we look at that as a base idea and we think that's fucking insane.
Correct. So
But
thinking your
if
dreams
you-
into reality, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like thinking your dreams into reality is fucking crazy. But imagining a goal and then actively working
let's-
towards, I don't think you call that manifesting.
I
you
think
call that
it is still manifesting because you're using that dream, right? That you're trying to make your dreams into reality as a push, right? That's like a motivation for them.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Right?
I mean,
So it's still
yeah.
manifesting. It's still manifesting. They're working towards it, right? Like
So you're using that as your muse. People use women as their muse, their kids as their muse,
whatever,
their home,
some kind
whatever
of motivation,
goal, yeah.
right? Like I think that manifesting is a healthy way of motivation. But now it's weird though because we can all agree that it's kind of bullshit, right? You're not actually gonna think things into reality, but if you adopt that mindset, it can help you.
It can. No, I agree. It can help you if you actively work.
Yeah, of course,
towards
of course.
it.
We
You have
understand
to
that.
actively work
Yeah, no,
towards it.
no-
Because a lot of times you'll see girls like, well, you know, are you single? Yes, I'm single. Well, why don't you have a boyfriend? Well, I haven't found one. I'm manifesting a great boyfriend. The universe is gonna give it to me. But in the meantime, she's doing OnlyFans. She's got half-ass naked pictures of her on Instagram. Doesn't know how to cook and clean. Doesn't know how to fucking properly talk to people. Opens her mouth and it's just a bunch of vomit that comes out of it. But yet she's manifesting this fucking high-value guy, right?
You're saying that it would just, if she wants to manifest to do it productively, she should manifest and also work towards this manifestation.
Yes, because one of the topics that I have is actually very closely related to that. So not only work towards it, but like, okay, well, if I want to, let's say this is a guy, right? Like we're talking about the girl is trying to get a guy. If I want this ex guy, what do these ex guys want from their girls? And let me work actively towards becoming that person so more of these guys can start liking me. This like me the way I come bullshit does not work.
So this is the thing though, right? Like you put that in the same perspective of someone like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I met if like okay, you remember you've seen the clips of that gone viral of him doing exactly what Aldo does when he cleans Aldo in 13 seconds. He does like he imitates him marching forward and he does the step back left hook that he does on Aldo in the cage. Training the night of when he was doing that with Aldo. Trains that exact thing. And basically, he's manifesting this, I'm going to beat Aldo, and this is the way I'm going to do it, right?
Well,
and then he's also putting in the work for, it's kind of like luck meets opportunity,
Well,
right? You're trying to build yourself so much where if that opportunity presents itself, you're going to execute.
Well, it's preparation meeting opportunity, and that's when the luck happens. But he did have to prepare for it.
Right.
So for you to become good at something, you have to do, unfortunately, the fucking boring shit
And
nobody wants to do. It is the same shit over and over again. You repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat every fucking day, over and over and over again. By tweaking little tiny bits in between, you rinse and repeating. Like the main process is the same, but the tweaks is what changes the course.
So the way I see that people that use manifesting correctly and are successful with it is exactly like I framed it in the beginning. I feel like they're just using the ideologies of confidence and goals to the extreme.
Well, yes, confidence goes to the extreme, but then they're actively working towards it.
Yeah, no, that's
Meaning
what I'm saying.
they're taking steps and actively working towards it. It's not just like, because right nowadays
confidence and goals towards their work ethic.
Yes.
Work ethic.
Yes,
right.
yes. We're in agreement on this one, 100%.
That's what I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
No,
You
but
see,
see,
I remember when I told him before the pod, everyone, he goes, I don't agree with that. And I was like, Jay, I got you. I think you'll agree with what I have to say.
But the definition of manifesting that you read is like putting your dreams into reality.
Yeah.
That definition itself makes no sense.
And we agree with that.
Which majority of people, that's what they have when they say manifesting.
Majority of people are lazy.
Well, I mean, whether lazy or not, I don't want to say lazy.
No. It is laziness, because think about it. You don't think that the girl or man that manifests their job but is lazy as shit doesn't know what they have to do to help that manifestation come true, or at least, like we're talking about, preparation meets opportunity. They know what they have to do. They just don't fucking put in the time.
Well, I think their choices. Like, I just heard 50 Cent talk about it. He was given an interview, and he's like, you know, can you imagine, like, we live in one of the best countries in the world. People literally, like, they try to go through tunnels in hot-ass trucks. They try to sneak into this country to have a better life, work, and make money, right? But yet we complain about it, and we choose to buy fucking tents and live in a tent, right? This is what he talks about. And he's like, well, I can't understand that. Now, he goes, I don't understand that mentality. Now, is this laziness? I don't know that's laziness. I think it's a choice. It's a choice that they make. They choose. They say, okay, I'm going to live in a fucking tent. This is what I'm going to do. It's a choice for them to, I'm going to pick up this drug and then I'm going to do drugs. I'm going to pick up alcohol and then I'm going to start drinking. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
It's all fucking choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily being lazy. I think it's just
a choice of laziness. That's a choice you made.
Yeah.
That's a choice of laziness.
I guess.
I do think that's a choice of laziness there.
I guess.
You chose to not get up off your ass and work towards this manifestation. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if you're in a process of working towards something and you are busting your ass, I don't think manifestation is necessarily an unhealthy ideology for you to adopt. I think it only can help.
Yes.
Not that it's what you're actually putting in your brain is true, but that it is going to make you more productive.
Yeah, it's like, you know, because you can, let's say I am in one of those African tribes that are being ethnically cleansed. Unfortunately, this shit is happening. As a little kid, I can't manifest better times. Like, I'm not going to bring this to reality. Like, you know, and I can try to work towards it on my own. That's a different story. But anyway, but yes, I do agree. I think we're in accordance with each other, because as far as you actively work towards your goals and then picture what the goal at the end of the tunnel, like light at the end of the tunnel is going to look like. And that's still
actively manifesting, because you're turning your dreams to reality.
And then start enjoying the process.
Yes.
That's when you're actually going to start becoming, I think this is when you become successful, is when you start enjoying the process. Because the end result, what I've realized is the things that I like to do is when I start enjoying the process. If I'm starting to enjoy the process, that's when things start becoming enjoyable, not the end result, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things I picked up from Gary Vee when I first started listening to him in high school was like, enjoy the grind. Or like the same thing Goggins says is like, when he was like going through hard times, he figured out what he found was the best strategy was embrace the hard times.
Yeah.
Learn, like he said, study the darkness. Study it. And
I really want to start reading.
I want to listen to his book. I just haven't wanted to spend the $20. I ain't gonna lie.
Spotify,
I ain't gonna lie. It's $20. I haven't wanted to spend, but
if you go on Spotify, he reads it for you for free. By the way.
Oh really?
Yeah. And what was I saying? Oh,
what the fuck would I been doing?
Extreme Ownership.
I'll listen to that shit tonight.
Extreme Ownership. I just finished that.
Willink. I really want to do that because I personally struggle with self-discipline.
Well, the Extreme Ownership is basically the book. I don't know if it's going. It is going to help you, right? With
I think Goggins' book would probably help you more.
Goggins' book probably more.
Ownership is more of like.
It's like
all you. It's all your fault.
It's all your fault.
It's all your fault.
If I can put it in a couple of words.
He has a good fucking clip about it. He's got a bunch of good speeches. Jocko is like a...
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, they need to fucking make an AI of this man that I can just put in my ears all day. Just be like, you or what is it? He says good.
Yeah.
Good. Right? Like
Yeah,
when you go to,
his thing is good. Yeah.
Yeah, when you tell him something
Does
bad,
it
he'll
hurt?
tell you good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get a raise at work?
Good.
Get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, get better.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
get
exactly
better.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And so I think Goggins' thing will give you the discipline
We
that
got
you need.
Rodolfo in the chat as well.
Yeah, what's up, Fofo? I was just gonna say hi. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I think yeah.
What
yeah,
you have
just-
that was related to our?
Oh yeah. Let me actually. It's
Related
an
to our
article.
manifestation.
So it's this.
I did start listening to the David Goggins one.
Mm-hmm.
He did have a pretty fucking rough childhood. His dad
They all
fucking
do.
Yeah.
Have you noticed
beat
there's
the shit out of him.
there is a every single successful person in the world has had some sort of adversity in their life. Like you have to come from adversity in order to get somewhere. 'Cause-
I don't know about that,
The
bro.
thing is, a lot of people have their
I don't
own
know about that.
adversities, and
Yes. Well, whatever it is,
that's
it has
one
to
thing
be an
a lot of people
adversity.
aren't willing to
Okay, I guess Zuck is on the
think
spectrum.
about. Like other people have adversities.
Like I was trying to think, like he was going to a college that what was it? Like he was going to a really
Harvard? I don't know.
he
Yeah.
was going to a
MIT.
like a
One of them.
crazy high league
Yeah,
college.
Ivy League.
Yeah, Ivy League or some shit like that, right? Like
Yeah, and then he dropped out.
he dropped. Well, yeah, because of
Yeah,
what they're
but
doing.
You talking about Mark?
but I
Yeah,
think you
Zuckerberg.
need
I think it
as
might
a
be
dude.
MIT.
Yeah, I think it was MIT.
I think as a dude, you do need adversity.
Phillips Exeter Academy, but okay, so he enrolled at
Harvard
Harvard.
University as well.
So I think as a dude, you need adversity in your life, which means as a dude, you need bad times,
Wait,
especially
so-
when you're young.
That's funny though because you say that and it kind of makes me just go look for trouble. Like I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
Well, no, it's not you looking
Look
for
some
trouble.
adversity.
It's not you looking for some trouble. It's like you creating your own trouble, right? As a dude, you need to be put in a situation where you have no choice but to deal with it. And it's not that you found this trouble. It's just that's what like life dealt you this card. Once
So-
you go through it, so that's why I think like going to military may be a good thing for a guy. Let's say if you don't know what you want to do in college, the first 4 years, like you go to military. Go to military. That'll help you figure out what you want to do. And that military will put you in a situation where you can't get out of it.
It's funny because I was looking for the microphones and I happened to open the drawer that I have my diploma on and it was kind of bent. It wasn't letting go by and then I was like, damn, I actually have a fucking diploma. Like I graduated. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. Low key.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. So here's the thing. And on average, I think you can look up. I think on average, a person that gets a master's degree will make $1 million more throughout their lifetime than anyone else. Or I think it's like $2 million or $3 million.
I feel
more.
like there's a certain I don't know what you want to call that skill, but there's a certain skill you develop over time when you think under duress, thinking
Yes.
under stress, or like a timeline or anything like that.
It's not thinking under stress or duress. It's like when shit happens, you keep calm because nothing that can possibly happen is what you have to deal with. The shit that you had to deal with was so much worse that this right now is nothing. Like this would happen to me.
No, I don't necessarily know it's that. I'm saying like even if it's something that in the moment because sometimes you don't look at things prospectively in that manner. You kind of just examine in the moment, right? Like you're not like, oh, this isn't
No,
as
you
bad
don't.
as
Yeah,
isn't as bad
you
as the thing
don't.
I went through 2 years ago. So it's chilling. No, like you thinking about now, right? And I'm because you don't like I'm saying you don't go back to before and be like, oh, this is less. No.
So I think
there's a skill
based,
that develops of you being able to calmly thought process.
So based on
things.
Indeed, your starting salary approximately per year is around 46,000 with just some college experience, like an associate's degree. Your bachelor's increases that by 40% to
Yep.
about
60.
65,000,
Mhm.
and then a master goes to another 20%, around 77. So around 80.
And when I
Is
say
it me?
master,
Is it me or is that not enough big enough increase?
no, that's about right.
No, I'm saying like I feel like it should be more.
It should be more, but it's not.
So
I know.
then
I'm
you-
not
then
saying
you-
this is
then you
wrong.
jump
I'm
to
saying
the
I feel like I
doctoral.
expected it to be more.
So
Then
77.
then you jump into the doctoral degree as well, and then it's another 25% increase compared to the master's
Yeah.
degree.
So $70,000. That's literally above average. Like this is probably top 20% of United States is making 70,000 and plus, right? So you're up there in or even top 30%. So you're up there in that money. But what I'm trying to say, the shit that you go through, it desensitizes you to stress. And when it desensitizes you to stress, when everything else that happens after that, and if it's not to the same level of stress, you're already desensitized to this level of stress. Unless that whatever happens to you is much higher stress, that's when you're gonna feel it.
Do you think maybe it's,
See, I don't
it's
know
that
if it's
innate
that.
reaction
I have
that we have
rebuttal to
that if it doesn't kills us, it makes us stronger. So if you live another,
Correct.
If you live another
That's
day
exact.
and everything was okay, you're just like, okay, it's whatever.
Yes,
You know,
if it doesn't kill you, make you stronger. That's exactly the meaning of the world. So this didn't kill me. It's just gonna make okay. For example, do you think I'm ever gonna be able to be afraid of not having food? Never, because I lived through times when we didn't have food. Not because we didn't have money to buy food, because food did not exist to buy, and they were like food rations. So I will never go through my life, even though I have food right now in my fridge. Even if I don't have food for 1 day or 2 days, it's not going to be an issue because I've already went through it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
I sometimes
this is what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes I don't even feel like cooking much, right? So I'll just make something light because it's just I know what it's like not to eat a lot.
So I don't know if what I'm trying to say is the same thing you're trying to say. I think that you're saying desensitizing that almost like a stress pathway, right? Like you're no longer reacting to this much stress. What I'm trying to say is I feel like there's a certain skill that develops that you become more proactive with thinking. Even if you feel like you're still stressed out or even more stressed out than before, but because you've gone through these stressed out situations, your thought process is more proactive.
So I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is like, so you run into issues, you solve these issues, and then you use these issues to more logically solve future issues.
Exactly.
So yes and no. So what I'm saying is like your brain develops like this, call it muscle memory, right? When you do shit over and over again, it has muscle memory. So you don't really even need to think about it, and you just act.
You can see that a lot of times with just labor in general. Just
yes.
Basic work, like
everything,
like dishwashing.
Everything you do, from like literally
anything.
grabbing your the way you grab your phone, not think about it, is literally muscle memory and swipe up and all these things. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that's actually a good example. Like washing dishes. First 2 days might be hard. First week might be hard. But by the time that month is ending, you're already very proficient at washing dishes.
Right.
Right.
And it comes down to that thing that you mentioned earlier, as well as tweaking those little small movements, because hey, maybe if I put this cup this way, it gets clean better. I might not have to put it in second time.
Correct. So that's when you start thinking clearly. So what I'm trying to say, as a guy, you need to go through adversity. You need to go through hard times as a guy, because when you go through hard times, it develops your character, which in turn helps you make or become something. It makes you
make better decisions.
Yes. So like women can afford not to go through it. Women don't need to go to adversity, because if they're pretty enough, somebody's gonna come and rescue them. Even if they're ugly, there's always gonna be someone out there to come and rescue them. But we as guys would need to do that.
That's not what you're saying. So women should go through adversity.
They shouldn't.
All women,
they don't have to. Not that
that's
they
not what
shouldn't.
he's
They don't
saying.
have to.
I misunderstood at first. He's not saying that they don't. Almost all humans.
We all go through adversity, but women do not have to. Do not need to go to adversity.
I think that there is a. I think they should.
Should they go through it? Yes, but they would.
I get what you're saying.
That would never happen.
It's not needed for them to be successful, is what you're trying to say. Like to be
correct, especially in a Western world where everything is so safe and clean and nice. Majority of 90% of the time is safe and clean and nice. There's no need for a girl to go through adversity, because if she's pretty enough, somebody's gonna come and rescue us, right? Versus as a guy, you need to go through adversity. Now we're talking about a third world country. Everyone is going through adversity. Now, it makes people different.
Let me ask you this: a little different from the topic. So, what do you think is another way for us humans to instill into our children to have thick skin besides
bullying? Bullying, literally bullying, because if like look how primates play with each other, little monkeys. Like you pull the shit up on YouTube and how the little monkeys play with each other.
Argument there.
They bully each other constantly. They throw shit at each other. They come drag each other.
Our society and the way we work, in certain ways, yes, you can be like, yeah, the way we do this is like primates way, but we are beyond complicated when it comes to our societal interactions.
Yeah.
to be comparing that you can only instill hard skin into a child with bullying. I don't think that that's necessarily true.
You cannot get them tough skin if they haven't dealt with it.
We can all agree that it took us around like at least 17 to around 20 years to comprehend why people do certain things and sometimes why we act certain ways, right?
Well, no, I mean, I think for some it takes a lifetime,
to the best
and
that
then
we can. Obviously, there's so much
Eventually,
that we don't know about humans and how humans work, but you kind of have your own understanding on how the world works, right?
when I look at bullying, right? Like if you're trying to say like the thing I found out when I got older, why kids bully each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the best analogy for that is hurt people hurt people. Most of the time.
I think there's more.
Now, there's more to it.
Bullying.
There's more to it.
And I
in
like
the
where you're
sense
going
that
with this because where I was going with that was you should probably instill the knowledge that you have. So what you just said, why people do certain things.
So I think that not all bullying is hurt people hurt people. I think that the first little kid that decided to call Jimmy out on him having the new shorts for 2023 is hurt people hurt people. Now, the second, third, fourth, fifth kid might have done it because the first kid is the popular one and they're just riding along. That's another reason why some people will bash kids.
Okay, so
I've seen that a lot where they just jump on a bandwagon and this is the kid they're making fun of and this you want to feel included and you start bashing kids.
So
too.
I think when you say bullying, right? I think there's a natural competition. If you're talking about, I think we need to divide this into sexes, right? Male and female. With males,
so banter isn't the same as bullying.
I know, but with males, we're males are very competitive and they're hierarchical. So anytime bullying happens, that kind of puts people into that hierarchy, and it molds it. Like this is the top dude, these are the guys on the bottom. This, and on top of that, it keeps it sharp because you're constantly in a competition. Who's the best male, right? Like whether you want it or not, your lizard brain is forcing you to do that. On the other side, I think with girls, I think their cattiness or they're not competitive because they're more communitarian. Their thing is to hurt each other.
Now, what if I told
with guys,
you that
it's
that's
not to
how
hurt each
me
other.
and Miguel grew up anymore? That's how we saw the sitcoms from when my sister was a kid, and that's how their high schools interacted. But as me and Miguel got older and through high school and
you all
years in
guys
middle
were a
school,
majority of you were keyboard warriors.
This is why I'm saying I don't necessarily agree with this.
But it hasn't changed.
Listen,
the
bro.
dynamic hasn't changed.
Man, you made me lose my thought. You couldn't let me finish it.
Well, you grew up differently with Miguel.
I get.
There's no more sitcoms like there used to be.
What I'm trying to say is that okay, there you go. The cool kids aren't the ones usually bullying anymore. The bullies almost like are in their own thing. Yeah. Right? And they're outsiders. Usually they're outsiders. And this is why I'm getting at those usually like OG bullies that are outsiders are usually hurt people.
Well, then, okay, so then...
And that's what we saw a lot as we grew up. Now, in the sense of the competition thing and the hierarchy and stuff, that wasn't what was really viewed as bullying between us. It was banter.
Well, that's when I say bullying, that's what I mean by bullying.
No, that's not what I say
if
by
you're
bullying.
talking about one kid that's like, he's on the verge of like going postal in school and he's the one that does all these things. Like, yeah, he's about to go nuclear. He's got issues. He's got psychological issues.
Hurt people,
yeah.
Right?
With me, when I say bullying, is like me coming up and saying, you suck at singing. If you're going to sing, become better. That's not bullying. That's me being very rough with you, but telling you, you suck at singing. Either don't sing or become better at it.
I messed up one time and I said that to one of my aunts and she kind of cried and went inside and turned off the speaker. No more karaoke for the night.
Yeah, but I mean that's the bottom line.
You
right?
broke Tia's heart, bro. What the fuck?
That's the bottom line.
Why you did that?
I use that example as but that's a harsh example to use, but that's how guys push each other. We push each other to get better heights by pointing out exactly what the fuck is wrong with us. Because no one else is going to tell you that. So you can't give your friend a dog shit advice.
Bullying, what you see bullying nowadays is, like, for example, it's funny. When I was, like, in elementary school, I felt some kind of way because I was the bigger kid and I couldn't do certain things when it came to like the fitness exam and stuff like that. No, even as the kids, like this is what I'm saying. Like maybe when my sister was younger, but when I was growing up, like I had insecurities about it, and little did I know to come to know, none of them fucking paid attention. None of them gave a fuck. The bullying was you don't have the right shoes, you don't have the right hat, you don't talk the right way, you don't hang out with the right people.
Yeah.
All these
y'all
things.
bullying has fucking changed, bro. Our bullying was completely different.
This is what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying there's a difference between banter and bullying.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't have the right shoes. They're like, what are those? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that I can see that, and that's fine.
Well, even what are those was almost like banter, because if your boy just wanted to wear slides one day, you were fucking with him. But like, there was actual
was
kids.
Kind of hard to do because there was a fucking strict
dress code and shit. But like there was kids, like for example, man, I don't remember his name.
Which also helped supposedly with that bullying.
It did not help. Yeah, it was supposed to help with bullying. This bullshit. But I remember there was this kid. He had autism.
Yeah.
And he used to wear Skechers, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't care, but like everyone else fucking cared.
Yeah.
And they all made him feel bad about it, and like about his weird nerdy glasses and his walk or whatever. Like,
yeah.
These are the things that literally like put the kids actually down. Like, I get what you're saying. Like,
I'll give you my own story.
So
I was probably around 14 years old.
I got too many bullying
grade,
stories. Fuck.
And I wore my first pair of fake Jordans that my mom had bought me because she wasn't trying to buy me no real Jordans for $200.
Sure, of course.
I popped up.
Damn.
All the black guys made fun of me. Then I came over. All my friends made fun of me. And then I never wore those fucking shoes ever again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that I would consider. Yeah,
I remember
that would fly.
I remember talking to Miguel in like high school.
I think I ended up like the next year buying some Reebok fucking shoes, and I pulled out and I was like, I'm fly as fuck now, boys.
So I remember Miguel bitching one day in high school, like when Fila and
These
what was the other?
I remember
What was the
they were
other
trying
shoe?
to
What
give
was
me
the other
shit because I
ugly?
was wearing Filas.
Yeah, and then Fila blew up when I was in high school, and all the black girls and everyone was wearing them and shit, like the big ass Fila boots.
Yeah.
Like the sole, like this big.
I had them since 8th grade.
Everyone started wearing them, and and I remember Miguel being like, "I wore these. I was the OG.
Yeah.
Y'all are behind. I was 10 years ago wearing this shit, literally."
No,
Damn, 10 years is a lot, though.
What I'm trying.
17 to 7.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, a little kid, like, I mean, we don't have military academies anymore. Like back in the days, Romans would give a fucking sword and a shield to their kid and be like, "All right, there you go. You're fucking starting to train," and they would like get smacked by those swords.
You know what's weird?
The bullying is you beat each other up.
I think there's a weird.
much.
There's been a. I think I'm gonna blame this to partial. There's a detachment between child and parent that's happened, and I think that's why the bullying has changed. You want to hear why?
I feel like there is.
Ready?
I feel like I personally have a huge detachment from my parents, even growing up.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Ready? Like for example, when you were younger, let's say in the U.S., right? If I grew up at that time, it was a lot more of my mom and dad going to every single one of my Little League games, mom dropping me off every day, dad picking me up every day, this and that. That dynamic isn't there anymore, right? Like most kids don't spend a lot of time with their
because
parents.
both parents work.
And so that instillment of like, because most of the time, who's the one that motivates you to do good in your baseball games? Mostly your parents.
Yeah, they're the ones.
They're the ones
like,
pushing you to even probably go that made you start this. And a lot of times they're the ones that are like, yeah, you're going to do so good and this and that. That's motivation right there. That happens not as often anymore. And so I think that's why, for example, like I said with the whole fitness thing, they don't even care to look at that because to them it's not something important, which it was before. Or like, for example, I don't know, like being the dumb kid didn't matter anymore. No one cared if you could fucking ace the quiz or not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, there was a huge shift between like middle school and high school as well. I mean, anime wasn't cool back then, and then suddenly blew up.
I know,
Anime
right?
was
Like
fucking cool now.
we were weebs, and now we're like the OGs. Like what?
What?
Yeah, I really want to tell all these little kids fuck off my anime. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sacred anime.
So I think what you're missing is the criticism, right? Because
That's what I was. I think that
the criticism is not there anymore. It's everyone is like, oh my god, you'll do so much
criticism
better, Johnny.
culture is
Here's your
different.
fucking here's your medal for placing last. That wasn't like that, bro. You placed last, bruh. You didn't fucking hear the end of it, unless you first. Ricky Bobby.
You got looked at in class every day.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you last. You know what I mean? Shake and bake. But that was the mentality, and I think it has contributed to. Not, I don't necessarily agree that this has contributed to a softer society or softer men. It hasn't. So our society is pretty safe. Not as many people are dying. Because remember, we had a big war in 1940. Bunch of men died.
Yeah, focus shifts.
Bunch of men died. 60s. Bunch of men died from Vietnam. And then you had Pearl Harbor and like Japan and Vietnam. All of these wars. You got a bunch of people that within the past 30, 40 years.
We've been big chillin'.
You had big chillin'. Exactly what we've been doing. Right? We did have some wars here. Iran, Iraq. But it wasn't like in hundreds of thousands of people are dying. So the situation is pretty safe. Bunch of people are growing up. So the people that back in the days through evolution would not have survived, whether they were sick or they were not strong enough, they would get eliminated as far as men go, they kind of stayed, right? So if 40, what they're saying, I think they're saying like 46 or 43% of the men throughout the evolution men that
It's like
43% of men have survived throughout the evolution, and how they can say that is by the DNA, and 80% of the women have reprocreated, and only 43% of the men have reprocreated, right? Because of the wars and things like that. So I think what you're doing is the society. So if you take that, half of the men are going to be those weak men by nature that would not have survived. But because we're in very safe times, they're here. There's nothing you can do about it. So you still have the strong men, but now this is being talked down to, saying that, there's, by you saying like, I want to work, I want to provide for my family, I don't want my wife working, they call that toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? By you saying, guy has a burden of performance, that suddenly becomes fucking toxic masculinity. So they're shitting on the men that are truly strong, that are supporting the fucking infrastructure, right? They're shitting on these guys. And the ones that are weak, they're saying, oh, this is how they're supposed to be, but nobody's choosing that.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a small group of people hating towards that. I don't think the majority is hating towards that. When you talk to a lot of women, the majority of them would still like a guy that's successful.
Obviously, it depends what type, right? Like if they're more on a liberal spectrum, like if they're medium to the left, they're gonna be on that like toxic masculinity shit. They're medium to the right.
I feel like there's an extreme there. At first, like if you would have told me this 8 months ago when we first started the pod.
Yeah.
How long has it been now? We're 10 months in.
Yeah.
We're 10 months in now. Hey, look at that shit. So if you would have told me that before, I would have 100% agreed with you. But I think the wave of everyone throwing
Feminism?
out that. No, not feminism.
Masculinity, toxic masculinity.
The wave of throwing out that word, that phrase so easily, has died down.
Well, the reason it died down because a lot of the creators go out there and then they fucking put them on a blast because a lot of women will use that word misogyny, right? They'll use that word misogyny a lot, and they go out there and a lot of creators say, all right, so it sounds misogynistic to you, define it, and half of them don't know how to define it, and then when they finally define it in front of them, they say, okay, well, you're using the word incorrectly. Now they're like, oh shit, well, we don't have a word for what I'm trying to say. Because the vibe is not there, it doesn't mean it's misogynistic or it's fucking toxic masculinity. That's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? By me coming out there and talking like this would probably consider misogynistic or toxic masculinity by me being so into it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But the point here is that I think strongmen still exist, and I think for you to be good at something, you just have to do the boring shit, and that is That's things over and over again, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, to become good at something, you have to fucking rinse and repeat it over and over and over, and umpteenth time, and then you'll become good at something, right? But the worst part is like you need to really know what you're becoming good at, right? Like you don't want to become good at something when you grow up old and you're like, oh shit, I concentrated on the wrong fucking thing, right? So you do want to become good at something that's going to be beneficial to you. And I think how you can do that is by solving a problem, right? And I think Michael Sartain talks about this. Like, find a problem and fucking solve it. Find a problem that exists in a society and solve it. If you do that, you'll be okay, right? But anyway, so let me dive into this. This is actually a female that wrote this article, and it's 8 statement. And the article is, if these 8 statements sound familiar, you found your perfect match. And I kind of wanted to go through this and see what you guys think, right? So number 1 is you feel secure and protected, right? Your perfect match will make you feel like you have a guardian angel by your side, regardless of your gender. Now, I don't know how much I would feel secure and protected with my female. I think
there's a certain, like, it's not the same.
It's not the same. I agree with you. My security and protection is more like, what do you call that? Not spiritual. Like, you can be my security spiritually. Like, go pray for me because I don't do it. You do the praying for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, Jay, no.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, Jay, no.
Why not?
Go pray for you. You believe in Sky Daddy?
That's not the point. You're not understanding what I'm trying to say. It's not.
I think you're talking more of like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
No, not like a cheerleader. No.
I think that I found myself a cheerleader. No.
That's you? That's gonna be you?
No. No. So for me, it's like, okay, I don't pray, right? Uh-huh. But then you believe in whatever is it that you believe in, vibes and all this shit. Find a woman that doesn't believe in the vibes. I'll probably give you a fucking golden medal, right? Like, these women almost don't exist. They almost don't exist. They all believe in fucking vibes and asparagus and a retrograde and all that other shit, right? Like, this feels good to them, right? So you do your little brujerías on the side
Whatever
according to you, what's
good.
gonna make my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be there.
Yeah, I can't give my opinion on this. I married a Caribbean woman.
So. Yeah. So that's my
brujerías and mal de ojos are the tip of the iceberg on this shit when it comes to that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, whatever the little things you're doing so that those mal de ojos don't touch you and all that shit. That's her job, right? My job is to make sure when somebody walks in the house, I'm fucking some shit up.
Really, I don't like that.
Somebody fucking, I
feel
somebody
like,
walks in the door, I just let off the AR.
I feel like that's not a healthy thing.
What do you mean?
I feel like that's not a healthy thing for you to be like, I'm okay with you doing that, and you should like do it kind of for me since I don't participate. I feel that participating in all those brujerías, right?
Yeah.
Is all a waste of thought and energy.
See,
you're trying to sit here and say, oh, this happened because of this, and this person said this, and so this happened. And
no, that's dumb. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, but that's exactly what they be talking about.
In a way, it is.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But that is what they be talking about, bro. That's what these girls are on. She's not gonna pray for you just like normal shit. No. You're not getting that.
That's the point. No.
So it's not like that either, all right? So
times have changed again, Jay. Times have changed.
No, I get that.
Brujerías are different.
No, I get that. Now, were you talking about them sitting there and fucking talking, right? Like, no, that's waste of fucking time. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, not even talking. Like, even having that thought process.
What
to me is a waste of energy and a waste of time.
Which thought process?
That's how the world works.
What you mean? Which one?
That they believe in these brujerías and mal de ojo. That's a waste of your energy.
No, see, it's okay. Here's the quintessential issue. The way women are
stuttering. I got him.
No.
He's piped up.
So I'm trying
He's piped up.
No, I'm not trying to put the words together in the best way to explain because I didn't explain it well in the first bit. That's so. The way women are constructed, they believe in these things, whether you want it or not. You can't take that part out of them. You cannot just take that and throw it out the fucking window. If you do that, then the girl is going to start talking to you. When she talks to you, she's gonna remind you of a dude, but you're attracted to women. You're attracted to women. So when you talk to a girl that acts like a dude, you'll be like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm not even attracted to you anymore.
I don't think that a girl being
Because remember,
spiritual makes a girl.
why are girls more like spiritual and shit? Because they're driven by their fucking emotions. So if the woman can fully control her emotions, fully control
Well, it's not about her controlling her emotions. It's just about having correct ideologies.
So, no, but see, the thing is, the reason they believe in these things is because they can logically, their brains are wired a little bit different. So it's for them is more emotional first, then logical, versus logical, then emotional. Make sense? So for them, it all starts with emotional. So they'll rather check it to, the vibes and the fucking astrology and asparagus.
So you would rather your girl never have the capacity to look past emotion?
Well, no.
Because that's not going to make her feminine anymore?
I would want her to look past emotion.
You want her to have that capacity.
Yeah, but I also understand that is a component of her.
Right, but it's still something she can every now and then, or even I guess what you're saying is like if she can master that across the board, she's become a man. Like what you're trying to tell me? Like
that's pretty much what would happen. If she switched her thinking, she went from logical then emotional, then that would be like talking to a dude.
But what if you specifically only changed your ideology when it came to these things, like specifically mal de ojo and brujeria
but do you understand?
And karma and things like this? These are just small basic things in life that are, like I'm talking about, to me, a waste of thought process, right? You're thinking that this is why this happened, or I'm going to do this. Like, this is a waste of fucking energy.
It is, if they go into a rabbit hole of this shit, right?
If you could get them
religion in and of its own can be a rabbit hole.
There you go.
So okay, a good example of this would be once a month. For example, I'm not saying that this is what you should do. That once a month, she decides to go to this specific church, say her little specific prayer, and that's her ritual. Like she has that one ritual that, according to her, helps the family and your unity to be on the right track.
Okay.
I want you to do that because I know that makes them feel good. Once a month. Now, if this bitch is going and doing this shit on a daily basis 3 times, now we need to have a fucking conversation.
What if I told you, look, you're going every once a month and doing this, and I understand that's what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But if you could get the female to understand that instead of once a month, you going and doing this thing, why don't you once a month go to take a class for, I don't fucking know, learning another language, which we can all agree is very good for your brain, right? Something productive and good and healthy or whatever it may be. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of how much time you're putting into it, it's still something that goes to your brain. Even if she goes once a month to the actual church and does her praise, it's still something that goes into her thought process. That's how her brain works in that specific way. Not all across the board. We'll get emotional thing, but no, just believing in religion, right? Getting her off of that, she's still gonna be getting her off specifically religion, just that, right? And making her understand specifically that, right? Like we're talking about, capitalize on that specific situation, look past emotion, look logically, on specifically religion. I don't think you're gonna take the female out of the woman.
Well, was it? Yes, but
you see what I mean?
Yes, but and no at the same because
what?
Yes and no because
I love you, Jay. Fuck, this man keeps going. He got me.
So yes and no. Why? Because the reason religion worked for many fucking centuries and millennia is because it kind of gave set of rules to everyone, and to this day, it gives set of rules to people.
Right, because like we all know, it's not only women that believe in religion. No,
correct.
All humans fall into this trap.
So book by itself as a set of rules is a great book. Whether you take the Quran,
if you look at it as a science fiction and just take the ideologies.
No, not even science fiction. You just take that as a set of rules of how to live a good life, right? Now.
But I don't necessarily agree with that because they talk about like you do your things for Jesus and his sins and this and that and having that in your brain.
But they have to do that, right?
That's not the best thing to have in your brain. We can agree with that, right?
Just hear me out to the end.
I got you.
Now, the reason they bring all that shit in, that there is a God, you need to be afraid of him and do things for them, is because if you were to follow these set of rules, you have to be afraid of something. And that's something because you're afraid of, you're going to be forced to do these rules. Right?
So same thing we have laws because we can't just rely on people to be good people.
Yeah. So for example, like guys will work extremely fucking hard, do their thing, and then somebody will cut them off in traffic. They'll get out of a car and catch it 20 years. within a split second.
Right.
No matter how logical they are. It's like it's the primate in us that like that prime lizard brain that makes us do this shit, right?
You know what I started doing to people because if I get mad at something else,
Yeah.
I'll react, right? Because emotion. But like sometimes if I not if I cut someone off, but whatever, I make someone mad on the road and they're fucking honking and flicking me off. When they drive by me, I just blow kisses at them. Or I'll put my windows down, I'll sing my music really loud, look all happy and shit, while they're just fucking pissed, screaming.
Yeah.
Cause it's kind of like that thing of like when you seen those videos of people when they are crashed and people drive by their phone like you can't park there and the fucking person freaks out and shit. Like it's the same thing, right? Like your happiness is only gonna fucking pipe them up even more.
So this has happened. I'm gonna tell you the story and then we'll continue. So I was driving and I cut in front of this guy. This guy was driving a fucking lifted truck, little roided up motherfucker. Yeah, just slow down. What the fuck? You didn't see it? And I rolled the window and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I scare you?" He's like, "What did you say?" I was like, "Did I scare you when I cut in front of you? I thought I scared you." No, you didn't scare me. I was like, "Oh, okay, then you're good, right?" Well, yeah, I'm good. Okay, well, have a good day. Yeah, and that was it. The conversation was over there. Like, I put it on him. I was like, "Listen, you."
That's your phone, Mickey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, but anyway, but basically what I'm trying to say is, okay, so now you take women, right? Women act emotionally a lot, right? So they need a set of fucking guidelines that they have to fucking act by. Otherwise, they're gonna make bunch of emotional decisions and they're gonna think about that. No, not all humans, because majority of the time guys are a little more on a logical spectrum. Then they go into emotion. It's usually on the logical, because when men act emotionally, bad things fucking happen.
I don't think
guys
that's true,
act
bro.
emotionally because they can't find a logical
I
solution.
don't know many competent men like that. The men I have around me, like look, sometimes you meet dudes and they're just like, especially guys my age and younger. Like,
yeah, well, guys your age and younger are fucking they grew up. They're emotional balls, bro. Like they grew up in fucking emotion. For them to blow up because of some little shit that happens is normal. That's too much estrogen in their body. That's why, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but I think set of guidelines for a woman. Like you can put these set of guidelines in there, but you can't take away the spiritual part from a woman. Like that's how they're built, and I understand that. Now I'm not saying she needs to fucking fall into it and pick up what's that fucking thing when they dress all white and kill chickens
Santeria.
and shit. Santeria and this bullshit, like, put curses and stuff on you.
I think Mickey's got some fam that.
No, I have practiced Santeria. My family has practiced Santeria. My mom is super religious when it comes to that shit as well.
So any like things that you can.
I participated in rituals.
Nah, get the fuck out.
Yeah, for real.
Motherfucker, can we participate in some rituals? Tomorrow we win that $900 million.
I don't believe in it, but I ain't gonna be there.
So you can't. So I can vouch. So you can participate in certain rituals for things like just health and prosperity and shit. What I've seen before is not to do evil, is more for the health side. So my take on this is I wouldn't try and change my girls' ideology on religion. If they like religion, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't try and change somebody's perspective on religion unless they really wanted to, because sometimes it's just the thing that's driving them and what's keeping them motivated. So
here's
I like that point, because I don't necessarily, like, for example, like I just said, my girl's from Cuban, like her family's about a lot of these things, right? And I don't necessarily tell her like, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, you should think like this, think like that. But I do speak my opinion.
I don't think Jay has ever been in my house.
No, probably not.
If you walk in my house, my whole entire house is full of religious artifacts. Like San Lazaro, we got a whole entire altar for him. We got different saints and stuff in a little cabinet. My mom's all out religious.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really bother with it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't care if that's what she cares for, and she needs me to participate in something because supposedly it helps. Sure, I don't give a fuck.
No, see, my thing is
that's sweet, Miggy. That's very nice. Because personally, I ain't going to no church. Even my mom won't go to church.
So this is my thing. I would get kind of I would need to put the brakes on if my girl came one day and said, well, try to shame me because using religion to try to shame me into something. That's when I would pull the brakes on that.
Lives in religion try and change my ideology.
Not
on
ideology,
religion
not
per
even
se.
change the ideology or anything, or try to shame me or tell me I need to be doing this or this way because otherwise this and this. Listen, you're doing that, you continue doing that. Your job is to do that. My job is to do what's right for us. So you either shut up and be in a passenger seat or you can leave.
I feel like
I'm sorry, that's how it is.
I feel like most people should just have an intimate connection to God with themselves. For example, I think maybe there's something. Hopefully, there's something. And if there isn't, it is what it is.
I like to look at my situation as more of we're flying a jet, and I'm a pilot, and she's my co-pilot.
That's it.
Because I feel like the passenger thing is more of like you just handle GPS and music.
That's
With
it.
co-pilot, this is a little different.
Don't touch my radio. You can handle the GPS, but don't touch my radio.
No, man, a co-pilot's a little different because it's like for me, I think that with you have a co-pilot sometimes. If I want to go take a nap when I'm flying this plane, she can fly it for a little while.
Nah.
And I think that's you need to have that trust in your significant other.
If I'm not there.
If you're not there, this is what I mean. So for God forbid, one day something happens and you're in a coma for months, you need to have the trust that she can still fulfill these things, right?
I think what you're trying to say is like, I'm the Army, she's the Army Reserve. Like, they still go on to this basic training, they still do their thing, but they're in a reserve waiting in case some shit pops off.
It's like, you know how we were talking about yesterday, like with helping Emily with the homework and stuff. It's like, you don't even need to know this, right? Because you're like you were talking about, when they ask you to do something, you go to some fucking Excel spreadsheet and it's gonna give it to you like this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We're the ones who invented it and made the spreadsheet. They just gonna learn it just in case.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Just learn it just in case.
That's what you're trying to say?
Yes, that's what. But that's what I'm saying. Like, me feeling protected, like me protecting and doing anything, I feel fulfilled. When I can give a girl that safety, security to my family, I feel fulfilled. Like, that's my job. I'm doing my fucking job.
So there is also a sense of security, right? That you would feel like we just said, she would still have the knowledge and ability to do things if something went wrong, right?
Knowledge and ability, yeah.
That's a sense. That's still a sense of security, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right, cool. So next one
that
is.
was a long point. I like it.
You can't imagine your life without him or her. I mean,
so I'll speak from the perspective of being in a relationship now for 7 years, and yeah, there's that ideology that starts to set in.
After a couple of years, I can see that coming.
It's after, I'd say for me, around like the 3 to 4 year mark, is when it's like. It's not that you can't live without them, right? That's a little extreme, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you definitely exactly you are accustomed to the companionship, right? And so it's like if this were to go away within a blink of an eye, it would be so basically devastating.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. So if you have many options as a guy, it never feels that way. It feels good not to worry about 10 girls and worry only one girl.
No,
but if you have different options...
It depends on the type of guy you are. If you're not a type of guy that's into having 10 girls.
Spinning around you mean?
So I think that there's different though, because...
If you're trying to be in a relationship or date 10 girls, it's just not...
No, what I'm trying to say is...
There's a difference in what you're trying to say and what I'm trying to say, I think.
Okay.
Not basic companionship. It's more of like... For example, once you start looking at this person like family,
okay,
then that's what I'm saying, that this break would be devastating.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, I see that.
It's not just having someone there.
Yeah.
No, it's like this person legit means something to you in that sense of like to your core, like family. This is now my family, right? Like Emily, I look at as family now, right? It's not she's my girlfriend and that's her title, but she's my family now, right? It's gotten to that point. It wasn't like that 5 years ago, 3 years ago, but now it is. Definitely.
Next one, you might have a flashback. I don't fucking understand what they're trying to say with this. Perhaps when you first meet this person, you feel like you've talked before or that you already knew each other. You might even feel
like
an odd sense of deja vu, as if the moment in time has already taken place. Soulmates often choose to come back together during the same lifetime. Says here, I think this is fucking horseshit. Straight up fucking horseshit. The soulmate shit, like this is all complete fucking garbage.
I agree. Flashbacks and deja vu being the indication that you're gonna be your soulmate.
Yeah, this
Shut
is.
the fuck up.
You know how many girls thought? You know how many girls thought that Dan Bilzerian is their fucking soulmate? Yet he all smashed them all, and none of them are with him. Just saying.
That's too an extreme of example, Jay. Come on.
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta do the extremes to illustrate the situation, right? It's intense. Well, if it's intense and itching, you might want to visit the doctor. When you're in a relationship with your perfect match, it will be more intense than normal relationships. The passion and the emotional intimacy will feel stronger. It can be more intense on bad days too. So I guess when you care.
I'm looking.
That
I don't know.
happens
I
when
feel
you
like there's so
fucking
many
care.
ways you can dissect that sentence.
Yeah.
And like I don't know.
Intensity
in what way?
That's what I'm saying. That's fucking dumb. You just get each other. I mean, I think after a while, people start copying each other.
This reminds me of that thing I talked about the other day. Why do you start yelling at people even though you're sitting right next to them? You know, the guy made the analogy of like because your hearts are so far apart, you feel like you need to scream to get your point across so they can understand you, and you're trying to get the person convinced. And how the same guy talked about how it's the same thing, vice versa. When you're with someone for so long, your hearts are so together. You know, we're talking metaphorically here. Your hearts are so together. Even the look, you said a sentence.
Yeah, because
that's what it starts to get.
If your girl does some fuck shit, you go like this, and then she.
No, like. I don't know. This is the first example I came up to, but like at night, we're getting ready for bed. I can just walk in the room. If I catch her eyes, make a certain look, and she knows that it means we fucking. Simple as that. Like things like that, or like
you just give her a little.
Put yourself on a camera when you do those things.
I ain't gonna. Oh. You just can't see him here. You know, things like that. Yeah. You start to know people so well that you know exactly what they're saying with just a simple lift of a finger, right? Something as basic as a lift of an eyebrow, lift of a finger.
Yeah,
like
I guess.
I gotta take a shit look.
That constipation look.
I just do this usually.
Yeah. Or you can do that sign language.
I don't know that one.
So next one is, where the fuck is it? Hold on a second. All right. The next one is you see the world through the same set of eyes. I think that happens the more time you spend with someone, and then you start molding them to see it through your eyes.
No. You know what I think it is? In certain aspects, you guys mold to each other.
Yeah, I guess.
In one way, you might catch her way of thinking, and another way, she might catch your way of thinking. Usually, men are more vocal on thought process, so it might happen more the girl, right? Girls are usually more a little silent and just, like, give their answer, don't really give the why most of the time, like, when it comes to, like, just quick conversation, right? Or, like, making a decision on a quick thing. Men are usually more explanatory.
Do you think
I think that's why the thought process might transfer over more in one direction than vice versa, but it still happens.
Do you guys think maybe the idea of I stand with Israel versus I stand with Palestine is very controversial among relationships nowadays?
I don't know about relationships, but I saw a group of Harvard students are getting doxxed.
Yes.
For supporting Palestine.
Yep. Somebody fucking ran a truck with a gigantic TV that had their names and their fucking pictures on it, but then there were students that didn't really sign this open letter, and they pulled back. They were blasting their names, and they're like, "Oh, we need to correct these." So they took some names out, put some in, but they already blasted these people. So you know what I mean? Like, people don't fucking look at that. They see your face, you're it. You know what I mean?
What's up, Matt? What's up, Gregorio? How are you guys doing? From what I saw, it was anybody associated with the group. Why is she calling me right now?
What's up, Matty Poo?
Yo, I want Matt back in
Japan.
the pod, man.
Matt needs to get back on the path. And Matt needs to bring his beautiful bride over too, because he keep promising that we're going to talk about the cool stuff that she doing. So, but like with code words.
Mujer, yo estoy en el podcast.
Yeah. See? So this is what I'm talking about. Your love is more than love. It's unexplainable. Again, this is one of those fucking just bullshit words I think people use.
You know what? I can actually attribute to that in a certain way. In a certain way. You ready?
Go, because I don't fucking know what the fuck they're talking about.
The difference between you just love them as your companion, or you find them, like I said earlier, they're now family.
Yeah.
I think that's where I can maybe associate that difference.
Matt, I'm gonna hold you to it. All right, guys. So this other article seemed to be pretty interesting. So apparently, if you eat green bananas, now there's got to be a special type of green bananas that you eat, right? A groundbreaking trial has revealed that resistant starch found in common foods like oats and slightly green bananas can significantly reduce the risk of a wide range of cancers. The study, called CAPP2, involved nearly 1,000 participants with Lynch syndrome from around the world and was led by experts from the University of Newcastle and Leeds. According to Cancer Research UK, Lynch syndrome affects approximately 1 in 300 people in UK and is caused by a genetic fault that increases the risk of bowel, womb, and ovarian cancer, as well as other cancers. People with Lynch syndrome have up to an 80% chance of developing bowel cancer in their lifetime and are also at risk of developing other cancers at younger age than a general populace, right? So the article kind of goes and talks about it, and then a little bit this part I thought was interesting. The research published in the journal Cancer Prevention Research is a planned double-blind 10-year follow-up supplemented with comprehensive national cancer registry data for up to 20 years in 369 of the participants. So basically this was a very long-term study, and they came out that like sort of greenish bananas are good. Now, I'm not talking about you eating the green banana when it tastes like fucking chalk. And after that, your mouth looks like you can't talk because it's all glued to itself, right? Not that kind of green. When it's a little bit greenish, so it's not extremely sweet. So apparently what happens, these starches, they start fermenting in your stomach because your body doesn't digest them as quickly, and bacteria starts feeding on them. The good bacteria starts feeding on them, thus producing the proper enzymes. Because what happens when bacteria feeds, they shit. When they shit enzymes, right? Their poop is fucking actual enzymes, right? Which is good for your gut, right? So there you go. So I thought this was a pretty interesting article about bananas and stuff. Another article.
I think he means just not ripe, right? Like just a little green.
Just a little green.
No black spots on it yet.
Yeah, definitely definitely no black spots at all.
Just like that top part of the stem still green, you know? Those bananas suck though.
No, they're not sweet. They're not sweet at all, but they're also not chalk. Like you have to catch it right in between.
Yeah.
So the best way I can describe it is where the sides, you know, like those ridges, they're still kind of green, and you can already see a little bit of yellow right in the middle. That's the time to eat them. My understanding. That's how you.
You want to talk about Dillon Danis and the fight coming up and the UFC and stuff that's been going on?
Yeah, that, and then I have a statistic about Mexico City, which I thought was fucking interesting.
Give it to me, and then we'll get into the fight stuff.
So apparently a bunch of people from United States have been moving to Mexico City, which has caused a lot of problems for people that live in Mexico City, right? So the cost of living
is Americans are actually stealing jobs.
No, so the cost of living is about 65 or 66% less in Mexico City, and Americans get there. They're usually like digital nomads or somebody that can work and travel. And what happens when you go in a place and it's fucking cheap? Well, let's say.
Say the thing again, or send it to me.
Which one?
The article.
The article. So what usually happens when you go to a place and things are cheap?
If I don't know, when we go to Colombia or DR and things are cheaper than here, like
you're just buying them, right?
You're just buying stuff
without even thinking about it. You don't think about it. You buy it because it's cheaper than it's United States. But the locals know that this ex bodega over there has it even cheaper.
Right.
So what happens now? That bodega knows, like, wait a minute, they're fucking buying this, and there's a bunch of fucking foreigners here. I'm gonna raise the prices, which inevitably fucks it over for the people that live there.
Gotcha.
So their prices are starting to go up. So essentially, like, it's a good thing and a bad thing, but at the same time, it also gives you to understand that there's a problem in the United States, right? Where there's 1. So there was a So there's more people actually going back to live in Mexico than they are coming here to the United States. And 1.6 million Americans already live in Mexico as expats because it's cheaper to live there. Right? So there's that.
Man. I don't know if I could move to Mexico just based off cheaper. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could. Like, I feel like I would find myself moving to, like, I don't know, like the middle of fucking Tennessee or Alabama.
Well, if you do that,
shit anyways.
so think about it this way.
I mean, your food is still relatively the same as across.
So
across
think
the board,
think about it this way. So let's say you have about $250,000 saved, right? You retire at 73, at 72 and a half. That's when you have to you must retire at 72 and a half.
Right.
You're getting some sort of a social security at that time, and you also have this $250,000, right? If you're spending your social security plus about $20,000 to $30,000 of this $250,000, you're gonna last maybe only another 5 years to 70. I don't know, 77, 78 max, right?
Yeah.
But your life expectancy on average is about 87, right? 80 between 82 to 87.
Okay.
So you still have about 5 to 6 years that you need money, and you're probably going to need money at the later time because as you grow older you can do less shit. You might need to move into old people homes,
Right.
which is going to cost outrageous amount of money, right? So because your kids are not necessarily going to take
what
care.
if you look at the? I mean, hopefully, what if you're like I guess the best situation would probably be like a homeowner, where if when you're gonna move and you need to spend all that money, just sell your house and use that.
Granted, you can do that too. But now think about it: when you have all that money and you live in a country where everything is 70% on a discount, now instead of you using, because you're gonna get your social security, you don't even need to touch your savings. You're probably gonna have a little bit of more money left over from your social security because everything is on a 70% off.
Got you.
So now, as you retire, you continue to grow that money.
I guess
so
when
it's
you
time for you to
retire,
live
you
in
move somewhere cheaper. Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole idea. You downsize, and you move somewhere.
Longer.
It lasts longer. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people are electing to do that, because everything in the United States is starting to cost more and more and more. Why? Because we have double income households now. So they can raise the prices and people will pay. Again, it all comes down to voting with your wallet, right? Like similar to what happened to Delta. Delta basically came out and said, well, we're going to change the Sky Mile program. And a bunch of people that had like platinum Sky Miles and things like that would travel, internationally and get perks and shit for it. They're like, well, fuck you and your card. We're going to cancel all these cards because now I went from platinum to silver, which means I ain't getting shit. So what's the point of me being platinum? So that's why the CEO of Delta had to pedal back, like, well, we understand we made a big mistake. We need to figure out what we're going to do with this, right? So people vote with their wallet. So if today somebody said, I'm not buying XYZ TV at this price, or I'm not buying Tesla at $40,000, Tesla would need to drop their price. But we're buying the Tesla at that price. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You boys
are selling.
You guys buying any lotto tickets? Second highest in history.
I bought it. It's done. Somebody won the jackpot yesterday.
Oh, they won it?
Yeah, yesterday.
I heard a guy saying that
Powerball won it in California.
I heard this guy saying that 80% of people that win the lottery are all set up by the government, and they take the money back. Yeah.
Who said that?
They are taking money back.
Some fucking conspiracy, dude.
No, that's bullshit, bro. No, it's bullshit. The thing is, these motherfuckers, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing with that lottery money, and they blow through it.
Yeah.
They blow through it.
1 point something billion though, right?
It was 1.7.
That's very hard.
So you're taking probably what, 900 home?
So
if you take the lump sum?
If you're taking lump sum, probably 700 million.
Okay.
So like billion
That's
less, because
a lot of
it's
fucking money to blow.
It is what's called an annuity. So you get that money in 30 years in installments, and then you have to pay 22% tax on that money that you receive. Majority of the time, these people will take the cash equivalent of that 1.7 billion, which will amount to about $700 million, right? Take home. But then think about it this way. You buy 3 houses totaling $200 million, right? You buy a 50 million house there.
What the fuck?
You got 700 to blow, right? You have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Because you don't, like,
bro,
what this...
You gotta think about it in the sense of, like, you gotta, like, this is the way I always think about it. If you tell me I have 700 million, I will break it down into the fact of I have $700 for the rest of my life.
Well, yeah, that's...
And so I would think in the sense, if you ask me, I would think in the sense, I'm going to go buy a house. Okay, how much of this $700 I'm going to use? I'm going to use $150 already on my house. fuck no. No. That's the way I would look at it, right? Like, I'm gonna look at the fucking percentages and probably save 80% of it.
Yeah, but
Just
then
go,
this
whoop.
guy that won in California, the lottery, first thing he did, he bought a couple of houses,
Yeah.
25 million each,
Fuck.
bought a bunch of fucking cars.
Stupid.
Stupid as shit.
Yeah.
That's how you lose money. Like, there was a guy that won in England lottery. He would buy cars for each one of his friends.
That's crazy.
He bought a castle. He would buy cars for each one of his friends, and they would do demolition derby in the backyard of his castle.
God.
And he was out of the money within the 5 fucking years.
Like, that's so crazy. Like, I saw this dude, this athlete. I don't know what it's a professional sports player. I don't remember if it
They're
was
notorious for
football,
losing their money.
football or baseball. No, it wasn't a bad investment. I mean, it's a crazy thing, right? But
About the tomatoes?
no, bro, they bought a
go ahead.
private island. But guess
Yeah.
how much it was? 5 acres. It's got a little marina for his cars and for his boats and skis and stuff. I think it was like $250,000 or $750,000. It was
Yeah.
either $250 or $750. I know that's way off, but for me, I looked at it, I was like, okay, he spent less than $1 million, and that's a fucking crazy thing to have. Like, in my sense, I would look at it like that. Like, you could buy a 5-acre island for that much.
Yep.
Why the fuck am I spending $50 million in the middle of fucking, I don't know, Malibu just to be there? Like, no, fuck that.
So here's the thing. For me, like, this is what I look at it. Let's say, can I afford to buy $1.5 million house? Well, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I can afford the mortgage. But then the first thing that's going to come to my mind, what is the maintenance cost on this house? Right? Like, what would be the maintenance cost on this island? How much money is it going to cost for me to bring food in here?
That's true.
How much money is it going to cost for me to maintain this?
It's got a
What are
full
gonna be
staff and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
already.
So these things
I
going to
think it has
cost
a
you money.
restaurant.
Real estate is a good idea if you're making real estate work for you, but if you have to work for the real estate, it's not gonna make it.
Yeah, so it's the same thing like owning a fucking yacht, right? If you own a yacht, how much is it gonna cost you to maintain that yacht, right? Like, you have to look at it that way. To buy the yacht is the cheap part. Is the maintaining of the motherfuckers that's expensive. You lose 50% to IRS, but you'll more than double it in 30 years. The payout length just makes sense. Yes, I do agree with you, Matt, if you do take the payout and then do it that way. But majority of the people are going to blow through that money. And they're going to blow through that money within 5 years because people don't know. Like, they just see it and they're like, oh, candy, I get to eat as much as I want. I won't get fat. And
With
next thing
that
you know,
much
5 years later,
money,
they don't have any money.
with that much money, I'd tell Jay, I'd say, Jay, you a finance guy. I just gotta hire you as my finance
Yeah.
person. With the, I think your commission, like a private island would be good, right?
No, so
and then you just invest for us.
so there's talking about sports, right? There was a football, I don't know who it was, but one of the football players went broke because one of his friends came to him and said, hey, you know how much tomato goes into making ketchup? And they're like, I don't know. He goes, well, it's like 10 pounds. Why don't we invest money into making these big, gigantic tomatoes, and we would use one tomato for each bottle, like these big tomato, like the size of a fucking watermelon. So it's like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Invested a bunch of money, and that shit failed. Like, they're not gonna fuck creating these gigantic fucking tomatoes.
They wanted to make tomatoes the size of pumpkins.
That pretty much, yeah, that's what they were doing. No doubt they'll blow that money. Only deadbeats play the lotto. Joke, J Love, yeah. So hey, when it's 1.7 billion, what is $2? What is $2? You know what I mean? That's a pretty good investment on a 1.5. What's the return on that thing? If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. You know, it's one of those things. Like,
I've never played it.
There's a joke where this guy goes around, is like, God, please help me win the lottery. God, please help me win the lottery. After 10 years, God gets pissed off, smacks him over the head. He goes, motherfucker, if you want me to help you win the lottery, buy the fucking ticket first. You know what I mean? So it would be interesting, like, to have that kind of, like, imagine you wake up and be like, oh, I won the lottery.
I won the lottery. Dude, that day you feel fucking amazing, bro. Your bones don't even hurt no more.
I know, that's when I would be freaking out. Now, that's a stress I'm not willing to deal with yet.
I saw this clip.
That
It was
is
this
big stress.
That is
honestly, when you
stress.
really think about it.
this religious guy preaching. It was supposed to be a serious thing. I just found it pretty funny.
Yeah.
He was talking about, like, this guy was like, I'll make it my own thing, right? This guy's on a stranded island, and he's very religious, and he believes that God is gonna come and save him. He's doing this to show everybody that God is real and this and this. And
is this a joke or real thing?
No, this is a real thing.
Okay.
I find it a joke, so it's gonna be maybe funny. I might be able to pull it off, and make it funny. So this guy, he's on this stranded island, right? And he's praying God, please come, help, save me. You know, I'll prove these people, you know, that you are real. Prove to them. And fishermen come by and they're like, come on, man, let's go. No. God will come and save me. Multiple fishermen come by. He don't give a fuck. God is going to come and save him.
Yeah.
My man dies.
Yeah.
He goes to heaven. And when he gets there, he asks God, why? What happened? You're real. Why didn't you save me? God said, I sent you 3 boats. What the fuck you mean I didn't try and save you, bro? Yeah. And I thought that was pretty funny. But it's kind of like this, what you guys are talking about.
That's exactly what it is, you know? So, I don't know, man. You know, it would be good to win just to see what it feels like, you know? I would probably do it, Dan Bilzerian style, for like a week.
A week? Yeah, right.
A week.
A week turns into 2.
Nah.
2 into 1 month.
Drug, my boy.
Nah. A week. But
Let me
anyway,
ask you something. Do you think you would still train jiu-jitsu?
Yes. I would. I'll probably hire a coach come in privately, teach me.
Yeah.
But I will still train until I figure out how I am, where I am,
Uh-huh.
where people like when all this like after like I would wait until there's another conflict like Israel and Palestine where people forget about me winning the lottery. That's when I would come back into like normal people. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what.
Where's the first place you'd go?
Jay would create conspiracies to cover that he won the lottery.
Yeah.
Oh, visit? Where would I go visit?
Yeah, what's the first place? You know we're hopping on a private jet somewhere. Taking that PJ.
Vegas.
Fuck no, we're going out of country.
Yeah, no, I'd be going out of country. So I don't know, man, what I would go. I really don't know.
I think there's I got 3.
I got bucket list things. Like I have Argentina on my bucket list. I have Peru on my bucket list. I have those are the 2 countries that I have on my bucket list. Japan,
Europe,
maybe, Japan.
Somewhere in Europe. Probably go watch like an F1 race in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, but I do that in Canada, Texas, you know.
No, but the Europe experience of an F1 race.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fucking Monaco or some shit like that. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
No, Monaco, yeah.
That's different. Or Singapore or fucking like one of those places. Like that's different. Japan, Australia sounds nice. I always want to go to Australia. Those motherfuckers crazy.
Yeah.
It always sounds really fun. You know what I mean? Like you already know that's gonna be a crazy fun trip.
What I would
is scary
what I would want to do.
Everything's bigger there, but fuck it.
God.
We'll deal with it.
What I would want to do,
Crash.
I would try to figure out.
Streamlabs
Click
crash.
yes
Give us
button
a
to keep streaming and recording.